Poisonrana.
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Maybe there we go. Hello YouTube room, we are live. youtube.com/post wrestling.
I know your body. I could read your face. You would be a bad poker player. Yeah, we're live.
Wonky and everything.
It's all right.
Off to a terrible start. Hello, it's all right. We're on a holiday.
Last day of school. That's what it feels. Last day of work until we're on vacation.
We look like we're on a boat, like sliding down.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I wish
we
I
look handsome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We are live
on youtube.com/post wrestling.
It is up next. You found us at postwrestling.com or any podcast apps that you're listening to us on right now. Hello, Braden and Davie here with an NXT review. And
we are live at youtube.com.
We're live right now, and we're going to talk about tonight's NXT, and we got lots to talk about.
Yes.
Lots of things going on in the world of wrestling, and it never stops, and lots of things going on for us here at the BDE as we it's our last show for a little while.
Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping here. Don't worry, Up Next isn't going anywhere, but we are. We're going to be, this time tomorrow, actually, we'll be probably boarding our flight, waiting to take off, because we're going to London. We're back home.
Hello, London.
With my family. We're going to have some fun, see some pubs, go to some wrestling, go to Germany for a couple of days.
That's right.
We got a whole lot planned, so it's going to be too much work for us to kind of try and manage to do NXT while we're away as well.
Oh, you mean we don't have to watch NXT when we're away on vacation?
Yeah, we'll watch it.
Yeah, maybe possibly.
Especially but don't worry, Up Next isn't going anywhere because we've got the great John Siino and Beav Detroit filling in for the next few while we're away.
Yes, if you follow us over on Poisonrana, that is Davie and I's our own podcast that we do. We have a bunch of other shows on there, and once a while, like once a month, Siino and Beav present What Up Doe, where they chat all about wrestling and usually video games and other things like movies and shows and kind of pop culture stuff. Well, these two have been killing it over there that we decided to give them the reins. They're taking over with a little bit of What Up Next Doe.
What Up Next Doe?
What Up Next? With the next few weeks of them filling in and covering NXT. So they will be, I think they still will be doing like a video format of some way,
yeah, we'll still be on this feed on youtube.com/post wrestling.
They're going to be going Wednesday
mornings, I believe. Cool. So obviously follow the socials. We'll keep you updated with when they're going live. Follow us at Up Next. Sorry, what are we now? At Poisonrana Pod.
Yeah.
And follow as well. But they'll be going live talking about next week's Heatwave and the aftermath.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about some Heatwave, the go-home show tonight for the next TV special, which is next week, which looks pretty good. So we will still be checking it out, even though we won't be talking about it. But Siino and B will be talking all about it, and treat them with kindness, just how you treat us next week. Super chats welcome, and they'll make all the super chats. So give these lads some super chats next week. You can give us some right now too if you want to buy us a pint for our trip. But they're going to be covering all the NXT reviews for the next little while. So shout out to those guys, and can't wait to hear their thoughts on Heatwave next week.
But we've been awfully busy the last week or so because if you have subscribed to our patreon.com/poisonrana for only $5 a month, you will still be getting shows while we're away. We've kind of put a load in the like ready to drop at any moment. So we've got our Was Next, talking about the January 29th edition of NXT, featuring the contract signing between Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville, Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
The one that you might not remember.
Exactly.
The one that was way before their big series encounter everyone knows.
A QT Marshall sighting.
Right.
And some auditions. So that'll be dropping in a few weeks. We've got our James Bond review coming out in just a couple of days, where we finish the Daniel Craig saga, talking about No Time to Die.
Yeah, I think I'll drop this I'll schedule this for Thursday, and we're finally continuing and finishing our James Bond reviews with the Daniel Craig movie. So we've done all of the Craig Bond films, and we've done Bond review ratings, kind of like how we did the Batman ratings, like Bond song, intro, gadgets, things like that, Bond girl, villain. We do all the ratings, and now we've done all of them, including now No Time to Die, which was a great movie to go back and rewatch. So if you're a Bond fan, it's definitely for you. And if you are and you haven't checked them out, you can go through the catalog and kind of go through there, because Spotify makes things a whole lot easier for us little content creators with their new like sync feature with Patreon. I'm someone who recently has switched over to Spotify for my music, and I'd say it's even better now for podcasts, because if you do follow podcasts like ourselves on Spotify, you can now access the Patreon through there, and it links and everything, and it has all the shows in there, and it's kind of super cool. So I recommend go through there, and it's kind of easier to sort through the different shows that we've put out. But we have obviously our SummerSlam Wembley review that came out like a week or so ago. But we are gearing up, because we're recording this literally tomorrow before we get on a plane, a review 5 years ago, All In.
Yeah.
From the Sears Arena?
What, the Now Arena now? It was the Sears Center.
Now it's the Now.
Now it's the Now. Then it was the Sears Center.
Right.
In
Hoffman Estates.
Hoffman Estates, Illinois.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at the original All In. You and I were both at the show. We had the legendary podcast with John Away. I'd just recommend John Away just need to re-release that one at some point. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because that one's an all-timer. But we thought we really haven't looked back like all these years. I have actually watched some of the matches and cherry-picked and shown some friends, but watching the whole show front to back, and we're going to be doing that, and that's going to be coming out in the next week or so.
Yeah, this is the first time I've watched some of this actually on TV. Like you, I've rewatched a couple of the matches, but there's a lot of stuff I completely forgot about from the show, and it's kind of like we do Was Next and Where Are They Now. Certainly going to be talking a lot about Where Are They Now with this show, as well, as a lot happens in the world of wrestling in 5 years.
Yeah, MJF opening the show, which could be something that's happening this year. We got Kenny versus Penta. Lots of canceled wrestler appearances. We got the crazy Rey Mysterio, Kota Ibushi face-to-face in that six-man main event that got cut for time, but is still amazing. There's some great matches on the show. Cody, 10 pounds of gold.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be reviewing everything, All In. I found it on YouTube today. It's on there for free. So, I mean, it's on Honor Club as well.
It's on Honor Club with some edits.
Oh.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in the show. But yeah.
Yeah, so that is going to be great. Get your feedback in if you're listening to this. Not too late because we're recording tomorrow afternoon, but that'll be released on the Patreon leading up to the new All In, because we are going to be there. But you want to support us, you want to buy us a pint, well, you can by buying yourself podcasts from the BDE. It's only $5 a month to become a friend. Patreon.com/PoisonRana, and you get all these podcasts we're mentioning and everything we've done in that back catalog, and how we keep the lights on here, baby. And while we're away, we're keeping the lights on. Well, we're turning them off because we're eco-friendly.
But we got to remember to turn.
Yeah, okay. And the oven, right?
And the oven and the AC. Yeah.
So yeah, Patreon, support your boys, small-time content creators. Lots of podcasts. We mentioned Siino and B. They're going to be doing What Up Doe. Sorry, they're going to be doing Up Next, but they will be dropping a What Up Doe over on the Poisonrana feed as well for free, chatting, I think, a bit about their SummerSlam experience and everything going on in the world of wrestling. But what in the world could be going on in the world of wrestling? Nothing, right?
Yeah, surely everyone's talking about the huge show, the show that looks like it could be the biggest wrestling show of all time. Surely everyone's talking about that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nothing else to talk about. No.
No, not Ryan Nemeth.
Oh, wait. Okay. What? Yeah. Punk is gonna punk, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So kind of weird. I mean, we'll definitely get into NXT, but obviously we're setting up for our trip to go to All In. We're really interested in our All In experience and the matches and everything. And so far, the build has been kind of weird. There are some great matches announced. We did a whole show on Poisonrana this past Sunday, riffing on everything. If you'd like to go listen back to that on thoughts of everything AEW, but that was Sunday afternoon. And now it's Tuesday night. A lot can change and happen, apparently.
So, yeah, we talked on our Poisonrana show, which we do on Sundays on our feed, about the kind of the shoot promo on Hangman Page after Collision went off air.
Peg warmer.
And a lot more has kind of come out since then. There were reports that, you know, Hangman was going to be filming a pre-tape backstage, and then they moved it away from the arena. Reports are now kind of saying that two are unrelated, and they were going to be filming outside anyway. There's then reports that Punk apologized to Page for making that promo and said he felt bad and it didn't come across the way he wanted it to.
What?
Or something like that.
Your toys don't sell, you don't pop a rating, you fucking suck. Oh, you know what? Fuck, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean, I didn't. Did that come out the way I meant it to sound?
And then it gets weirder when you're hearing about people who he's kind of, Punk is seemingly banning from his show, Collision. So
It's my show.
apparently he confronted Ryan Nemeth about a tweet made
Poor hot young Briley.
calling Punk soft, and he was
Softest man
like,
alive.
you're fanning the flames and it's not a good look for us, as he's like cornering him in the locker room or whatever. And Ryan Nemeth basically isn't on Collision anymore. He's been pulled out.
Was he on Collision?
Sorry, like maybe that tweet has a point. Sorry, you're worried about Dolph Ziggler's brother.
Softest man alive.
Soft, come on, soft.
Yeah. So then what? Christopher Daniels as well.
And that's the weird one, because it's Christopher Daniels, who is head of talent relations, not being allowed at Collision because Punk's like, well, if Ace Steel's not allowed, then Daniels should. This guy's head of talent relations. How can you operate without being there?
Right.
That's.
And then they used to be boys, so
I think so, yeah.
Kind of even weirder. Yeah, the whole thing is just very strange.
And then I don't know what he's got against Matt Hardy.
What, Matt Hardy?
Maybe he's just like, you're on TV way too much.
He's like, you know what, dude? We actually
don't
just
need
want to
you."
see Jeff.
And then there's stuff coming out about Jungle Boy wanting to use real glass, and Punk's like, that's dumb.
Okay, maybe he's right there.
Which I think Punk is kind of right here.
Right.
But it's all more stuff going on, and him basically saying, save that shit.
That is just so bizarre. Everything's so bizarre.
Everything's so weird. And I don't think, like, he's trying to be this locker room leader, Collision, and lead by example, but only for people he likes.
Yeah, he runs the company, right?
He owns it.
He owns it, right?
He owns
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars and
Yeah,
Fulham
yeah.
FC,
Punk's CM
right?
Punk, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
who's paying the checks here?
That's so strange. Like that Hangman promo is so funny because he's like, oh, like you don't pop a rating. I'm CM Punk, and like neither do you. Dirty Dom pops a fucking rating though. We talking about the show Dom. Like even tonight's episode will probably beat that rating. Like, and I don't usually care about ratings, but when someone says that in a shoot, you know people were filming and we're gonna release this. Like that's just what
100%.
happens. It's not like you thought this is some secret comedy show where everyone's phone's in a bag. No, you know that's what people are gonna do, and it's gonna get out there. And like it's so strange. So it's all setting up to the great build for All In, which is Hangman versus Punk. Oh wait, no, that was Joe putting him to sleep, and everyone forgot about that now.
Is this like? I mean, there's reports that the Elite have no interest doing anything. They don't want to sit down and talk with him. They don't want to match with him. They don't want anything with him.
Well,
is this Punk just like goading them, like trying to get something out of them, or what? Because like that, we all know this is any sort of match between Elite and Punk is what's best for business now, right?
Yeah.
And like I do think the Elite are kind of, if those reports are true, it's like, come on, like put your differences aside. It's fucking wrestling. You don't have to like each other. I said this on Sunday show. I don't like everyone I work with. I don't like doing some things I have to do at work, but you know I do it because I'm paid to. And so I think they need to put that aside. But Punk doing all this, I think he just dick.
Yeah, like for a guy that doesn't, drink or do drugs or whatever, the straight edge thing is like, clearly there's way too much sugar in Pepsi because this guy's nuts. Like I watched that promo and I'm like, you are just an asshole, man.
Yeah.
Like I love wrestling and I love watching everything, and this guy comes across just like bad for it. As much as it makes people talk about it like so much, it's Punk Watch 2023 nonstop every day. It's Punk this, Punk that, talking about it right now. But it's like, wow, like in bad reasons.
I feel like you're also like, I can imagine treading on eggshells around him as well. Like, oh, I'm in his good books. I get to be on the Saturday show, but like, fuck, what if I say something wrong or do something wrong? And now, like the fact he's given Hangman 3 receipts.
Yeah.
He did the one on TV last year where he called him out knowing he's there, the presser, and now this. Like,
dude,
he alluded to Colt Cabana in a promo once, trying to build a match. Once you've given him his receipt. Why? It's 15 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, don't forget.
It's all very strange, and it's a shame. Like, it's like they're going into their biggest show ever, one of the biggest, could be the biggest wrestling show ever, and this is what people are talking about. And I just feel there's like, it's not just us. You look around, people are kind of a bit baffled by this whole Wembley build and the card they're putting together. Why the fuck All Out is happening? Stop is beyond me. Like, why?
Yeah.
Focus. Like, all your eggs should be in this basket for Wembley. 80,000 people there watching, as opposed to what, 10,000 in Chicago again. Like, why do we care? What's the point in doing that show? And now it's like, okay, Punk's gonna Punk again. What's happening next? I'm sure there's probably, by the time you're listening to this, something else has come out as well. Yeah, it puts a bad taste in my mouth, and it's like, come on, we should be focusing on like celebrating. This company should be taking a forward.
Yeah.
After next week, and it's just a mess.
And like the Elite re-signing, like they got to be getting some big fat checks to stay there. And to me,
that's what they said. They were like, oh, I can stay at home and I get paid money. And
well, it's like if these guys, yeah, they're not responding to CM Punk. They're not like responding to this stuff. It's almost like this guy who's just yelling at the cloud, like trying to fight people. Like, yo, we're over you. Why are you so obsessed with?
And like, I get he's their star, and like, he is a draw. I mean, you put him on Wednesdays and numbers would be up,
sure,
in my opinion. Not crazily, but like they would be up. It's that kind of death slot of being Saturday night. But Tony Khan needs to put his foot down. He needed to put his foot down over a year ago.
Yeah,
for the All Out thing.
Yeah,
and
when it was happening.
Doesn't look like anything's happened. Like the fact that he, like, talent is saying can be here, who here. Just watch that Bash of the Beach Dark Side. We know what happens when you give talent to.
Yeah, that episode really, everything going on really reminds me of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
CM Punk is the reason he's doing the leg drops.
The guy that was like against this.
He's gonna be like, it was all a work. I'm just a heel now. No, I think you're just an asshole. Yeah. Actually, yeah. The difference between this, like, CM Punk's run and Hogan's run is the ratings were actually crazy. Oh, like that was the time of wrestling was nuts, right? People had to watch how the ratings were crazy, but like, there's no, he's acting exactly like that. Like the whole thing of when he called Siino the New York Yankees, you could say that about him, but it's not even that now because he's not like on the main stage. He's not like he's turned people off, I think, from like I don't know, like you said, enjoying it. Like, why is everyone so like sour and bitter and defending this and arguing about this when it's like, yo, we should be celebrating like big, huge event, and this guy just keeps going off on people. Pretty annoying.
Yeah, very, very strange. But you know, we'll probably tomorrow be watching Dynamite in our airport lounge before our flight, and hopefully knowing a bit more of what's going on.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Punk will show up. Maybe he'll be like, you know what, Joe? We've had enough matches.
Yeah, we don't need to fight
Let's
anymore.
do what people actually want.
Yeah, I know what I want.
What's that?
We all want, and one thing: Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay 3 at Wembley, and I don't even think that's happening.
I don't think that's happening.
I
don't think that's happening for. But yeah,
I guess we'll have to see.
I would imagine pretty much the whole card should
Announced.
I would think. You would think that would make sense, right? No, we'll probably just find out what's happening in Chicago.
Good thing we know good thing we know Darby's facing Lizard Man and Aussie Open are facing main event, and meaning one of them's got a job.
Yeah,
in the opening of the show. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, you know what else is also happening? All In It.
That's right.
All In It at Trinity Bar, Harrow on the Hill, right before All In. We are starting, doors are open at 12 for those of you that have tickets. The event is starting at 1. We'll be wrapping up with plenty of time for people to get to the stadium in time for MJF Adam Cole versus Aussie Open. But if you didn't hear our Sunday show, we are going to be hosting an event after as well.
That's right. Yeah. So we have sold out for our pre-show. There is the downstairs with some common area where you can still come and hang out and chill. There'll be lots of other wrestling fans. But to tickets to the actual show upstairs, we might be letting people in depending on the demand and if there is room. But so far we have completely sold out. But hit us up and we'll let you know of what the situation is, if in case we can in fact slip people in and fit people in, because of course we want to get people and everyone in who wants to be there and hanging out and all that stuff. But now we also have our All In It post party right after All In. If you are going to be there for the show, come back to Trinity in Harrow. We will be partying the night away till about 3 a.m. because that's when they're kicking us out.
Yeah, it's a holiday weekend. So
they're serving till 3?
So serving till 3 a.m. Rules are a bit different in the UK.
Right.
Here you get 45 minutes to drink up. There it's like, oh, but I just bought this. So get the fuck out.
Okay, noted.
So we'll end at 3 a.m. If you don't have a ticket to our pre-event, you can get in just showing your Wembley ticket.
For free.
For free. Otherwise, they are charging at the door. And it's first come, first serve until they reach capacity. So try and hustle. Try and get out of Wembley as soon as you can. It's just 3 stops on the Metropolitan line from Wembley Park Station to Harrow on the Hill. And then it's just a couple of minute walk to the station. We'll be there upstairs partying, playing some wrestling music, trying to run karaoke. We'll see. We'd have been up and drinking a long time, but we're gonna try and make karaoke work.
We'll try it. You have our drink menu that you put out. We talked about on Sunday on Poisonrana. It's up on our social and our Twitter. All the different all-in AEW different drinks you've come up with. And now we got we're going to do a little bit of some games and some trivia. And I picked up some prizes today.
Nice.
Shout out Pure Fandom, Big Tom. He hooked me up with a pretty sweet Rey Mysterio all-in Wolverine replica mask. And on top of that, a Joker Penta mask. Someone is walking away with that mask.
Also, nowadays, just known as a Penta mask. Like this is
he hasn't worn it in a while, has he?
He wore it last week.
Oh yeah, I did. And then I actually got a whole other bunch of awesome masks as well. We got some sweet prizes to give away, and it's gonna be a fun time. So if you are going to All In, come check us out at All In It, bruv.
I managed to find some unopened 1991 WCW stickers that I'm going to be giving away as well as some WCW NWO Nitro chewing gum and stickers unopened. How's that gonna taste?
Someone's got to try the gum.
It's more about the
gum's gonna
stickers.
be like a brick. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
hard.
gonna be great. It was probably like that back then anyway.
I've mentioned this. I'm looking for the original Spice Girls gum
Right.
that comes with the stickers. I know I'm going to London, so maybe there's a chance there's some there that I can still find. So I'm looking for those original Spice Girls stickers. If you know, you know. If you got a link. Last bit of thing, I'm rewatching the original All In. Remember we were there in Chicago, Hoffman Estates, and we were in the venue and we were looking on Twitter, and it's like people were taking photos, and we're like, "Yo, fucking John Mayer at All In," and then they cut to him in front row on the screen. So I DM'd him today. I'm like, "Yo, John Mayer, bro, big fan." Obviously, I said, "Are you going to All In? Because I saw you went to the first one, and like, hey, if you're going, like, please come to All In it." So I'm waiting for the response. No response yet. So help me out.
Sensation, John Mayer.
Hip hop sensation.
Do you remember that?
What was that from?
That was Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He was like John Mayer was on Raw
Oh,
or something, and did a thing with Elias maybe.
Right.
And
Hip hop
and
sensation.
Jonathan Coachman, wow, hip hop sensation. And Corey was like, what?
He did like one song
And
with
then
Kanye.
Coachman was gone like
Yeah,
the next week.
yeah. John Mayer was not happy. Well, I want John Mayer to show up at All In now. So everyone go retweet
could
me.
he, like, maybe he's playing.
It's fucking John Mayer. He could show up at All In. I would love to hang out with John Mayer.
Do you think we're getting any musical acts
John Mayer.
apart from John Mayer?
Taylor Swift.
I mean,
Jeff
wouldn't it
Jarrett's
make
putting in
sense
that-
wouldn't it make sense to get some, like, you know, UK?
British. Oh, I thought Jeff Jarrett was gonna call in a favor. I don't know. Spice Girls. Oasis reunite.
What's more likely, Oasis reuniting or like Punk versus Kenny Omega happening? Like
Punk versus Hangman,
Punk
I
versus
guess.
Hangman,
really,
really.
yeah. Kenny's like, bro, I just want to wrestle like good people. I don't care.
No, all of them are like, I just want to do trios matches for the rest of my career.
So yeah, music acts. I'm not too sure, but maybe Fozzy.
Sir Elton,
Yeah,
chat rooms. Yeah,
that'd be pretty. good.
maybe.
That'd
I'd
be
love to see. I don't know. All in.
all in.
Maybe just down.
So yeah, we got a lot of things going on. We will be over in the UK. I'm finally going over there, crossing the borders. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to meet some of you fine folks out there for the first time ever. So can't wait to do that. And yeah, we're pumped. But follow our socials, like we've said, at Poisonrana Pod on Twitter, Instagram, X. Because we're going to be posting a lot of stuff from our stories. And over on the Patreon, we're going to be posting some little road stories as well from our travels of London, Berlin, All In, and All In It, and everything we do. So
Yes.
check it out.
And follow our personal ones at Davie Portman at the Brady, because
right.
we'll be posting up.
Excellent. Well, now I think it's time we can talk about tonight's NXT from Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. And we start off on the road to Heatwave next week with an opening match for the NXT Tag Team Titles. The champs, Tony D and Stax, putting it on the line against the Schism's Dyad.
Yes. Did you see, was it Jagger Reed posted earlier that Shawn Michaels gave him a little schism bracelet?
So someone gave it to him, right?
Yeah.
Or did Sean make it and just said simply gave it to him?
Yeah. I don't-
Yeah, so
I just imagine Sean in his office making little bracelets for Joe Gacy and Jagger Reed. And Rip.
No, I think someone gave it to him. Yeah, a fan gave it to him.
Oh.
He's like, give this to them. And he's like, wow, okay. I guess I'll give that. Imagine you meet Shawn Michaels and he's like, you're like, Shawn. And he's like, all right, how's it going? And they're like, can you give this to the Schism? All right.
Do you want a photo or anything?
You know,
no, just give this to.
You know, I retired Ric Flair,
Yeah.
right? The Schism bracelet. I kind of want one now. Yeah, why not? Well, Tony D and Stax are defending against Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed. And there's Tony D, who's actually, and Stax, showing some of their athleticism with a lot of suplexes. Tony D countering one of Fowler's and then hitting it with a really nice one. And then both of them at the same time in unison do like the, I don't know, I still don't understand the hockey punches referring to, like, do the mob punch people like that, I guess?
Because you punch people where cover the bruises, don't you? Don't see it.
Right. Oh, so it's like, what?
So that's the thing, isn't it? When you're giving someone a warning,
Right.
they'll do, they'll
Oh, okay.
do the bags of, like, what is it?
Bags of oranges.
Bags of
Don't leave a mark.
oranges and the billiard ball in a sock.
Oh,
that
right,
kind of thing.
right. Oh,
yeah.
Damn. Yeah, well, the Italians are serving up some hockey punches, and then the Schism's like people, the followers in the masks, they're all they're all like kind of around the ringside here. During the break, it's now the Schism who are beating down on Stacks, tagging in and out. Finally, Tony's back in and hits a series of belly to bellies. A fisherman suplex looked pretty good. Italian Kurt Angle, I say. Then more followers show up, and then clearly the Creed brothers are two of these other followers who like jump the rail behind when Ivy shows up, distracting all of the other followers to like create this giant wall, allowing who we presume is the Creeds to hit like this DVD thing on the outside, their move set, throwing Fowler back in, which allows Tony to hit his back suplex into like the rock bottom. Roman Reigns' old NXT finisher.
The thoroughbred.
Tony D and Stacks retain the NXT titles.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty fun. I feel like since Tony's come back and maybe it's been working more tags, I've been enjoying his wrestling a lot more than I did in his pre-prison run.
Yeah, me too.
And Stacks continues to impress me. I think he improves every single week I see him wrestle. The stuff with the followers is still like pretty hokey and like I don't know, there's been no mystery that it's been the Creed doing, so it's just I'm ready for them to like now just feel themselves and get to the match. Now Dyad have lost his tag title match. But yeah, pretty fun, and I thought the that DVD on the floor, I assume you looked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that it got in a lot for Tony D to look like pretty impressive with that hot tag. I didn't find that I got too much out of the Dyad, like Fowler, GYV. They're really good wrestlers. I'm interested to see if they do stay or in fact leave in 2 months now when that contract is up, or if they have decided to stay, because like I do like them and I just don't know if this character is what's kind of holding them back still.
It's
like
still like they're still telling the story that the Schism are like fractured and falling apart. So now they've lost this tag title match. I assume we get the rematch with the Creeds. That maybe now they're pissed. They'll probably want another match with them, and I imagine if they win, they'll be reinstated. And then I think that's when you have Dyad like actually and hopefully take their old names back.
That'd be pretty funny. Like a lake of reincarnation. Just come back
this
into your
is
old
like
gimmick.
their cult names.
Yeah,
like they're christened as these people, and they're like, no, we're out of the cult now, and they can just be GYV, and they can steal people's Uber Eats again, like the good old days.
Yeah, and go back to being British FTR.
Yeah,
exactly. So I didn't mind this match. It had some fun stuff, but obviously we know where it's going with. I think the match between the Creeds and these guys eventually will bang because they have had some great chemistry. We have a video for Eddie Thorpe, who we see him walking through the woods again, talking about the life force and the fighting spirit, and how he's going to unleash his fighting spirit and the power of his people and his background and his whole story, and talks about how dance is medicine and it's the spirit of my people, and then it kind of shows him like getting hyped up for a match and like kind of doing one of the spiritual dances there, and then says now Dijak is my focus, and he knows he lost, but he's looking to get that win back and focus now on that. More of Eddie Thorpe and his fighting spirit.
Yeah, I've been enjoying these videos. This wasn't quite as like
no light up.
It was like a kind of shorter version of last week's, just reminding us of his, what was it, the Hue? What did they call it? Hue?
Hokale?
Yeah.
Hokale? Yeah.
And but again, like I said last week, I'm interested to see how I'd like to see him incorporate this with his wrestling, his like actual presentation, like in the ring, in the arena, that kind of thing.
Okay,
so I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, I'd still like to see something it blend together a bit more.
Yeah.
But I think he will be getting that match. I think after later, like after the main event, right? We go to Carmelo Hayes. He's backstage somewhere, and he's wearing a suit, no shirt on though. Love the style here. He's got an NXT title on the table, and he's signing autographs tonight for lots and lots of the NXT fans. But like, it's just like they're not there. It's like the corporate people getting him to do it.
Yeah,
like,
I always find it funny, like when they have their photo shoot and stuff. It's like, you could do this, like they're at the PC 5 days a week, but you've chosen when they're like live on TV.
Just because everyone's there. I don't know. So Mello is there, and they're like, hey, what do you think about Eddie Thorpe? And he's like, yo, he's nice. And he's like signing stuff. When Wes Lee shows up, and Wes says, hey, you're signing all these autographs. And like, yeah, I'm the champ. I got champ duties. Everyone wants my autograph. And Wes says, well, you'll be done signing tonight, and the only thing you'll be signing after will be the contract when I beat Dijak tonight. Mello says, well, you should worry about Dijak first. Wes says, yeah, well, say less. Walks off.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying this new edge to Wes. I find sometimes his promos can be a little cheesy when he's talking, and for someone who seems like he should be pretty cool, I found him a little geeky at times.
Me too, yeah.
And I found this, and especially when we get to the final segment tonight, I've liked this attitude, and I think going to building to a title match, it feels important, and I've liked this added edge that Wes has had.
Yeah, me too. We get a commercial for Edge, 25 years of Edge on Friday Night SmackDown. As a Torontonian, I am super bummed that we're flying out for all. You're making me miss Edge. That's it. I'm staying. I see Edge versus Sheamus.
Yeah, at least this isn't his retirement.
It's not, right?
Which
I'll be pretty bummed.
He teased last year, which I think we'd have been like, oh man. But you know, I think that's a match I am gonna check out when we're back home. Edge v Sheamus. I'm sure they're gonna make a pretty big deal of him on Friday.
Another chance to dream.
It was all him just saying the lyrics to Metalingus, right?
I love Edge, and my boy Shane's going, and I asked him to get me the new, only available at this event, the Maple Leafs Edge Series 2.
It's pretty nice.
It looks so nice.
It
is.
I
hope I get one.
Last year's was what, in blue?
Yeah,
I think.
And you know what? I didn't get it, and then I see people wearing it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty nice too, but the white one's kind of nicer. It's not a black t-shirt.
It's pretty
shockingly,
cool.
I want it, yeah. So yeah, this Edge thing is pretty cool. Have we done a best match Edge? Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, when he came back.
Yeah, check that out over on our Patreon.
Yeah, wow, long time.
Edge, what are his best matches? Mick Foley.
You know my favorite one.
Oh yeah, one of your legit favorite matches.
One of my legit favorite matches. Kurt Angle versus Edge, hair versus hair. It's down to
it goes Gargano Almas and then that match.
Yeah. It's a fantastic match. Go back. It's definitely a hidden treasure. It's not one people talk about enough. And whenever I see someone on Twitter go, send me like a match from like this era that you know it's always that one. Watch that. Fucking classic.
I love obviously the No Mercy tag with Ray.
All those
any of the SmackDown 6
tag ones.
Right. TLC 2 obviously is like one of the best matches of all time. Instantly. He's had a hell of a career. I've always loved the Rated R Superstar stuff. See, like when Matt Hardy and Edge had a problem, Vince went, why don't we just
how about we just do a match
on TV and I'll pay you more money.
Brett, you don't like each other? Cool. Let's make money off that.
That's why Edge is a legend.
Yeah.
And I hope he doesn't retire while I'm not here in Toronto. Because I've probably seen Edge wrestle the most.
Do you think Hangman needs to fuck AJ Lee?
No, I'm not saying that at all. No, I'm not saying that at all. But Punk is acting like the guy did. Why? He's such an asshole. So bizarre.
It's like Hangman just seems like the nicest guy as well.
Butterflies on his fucking jeans, man. Edge never had that. We go to Andre Chase, back to NXT. Andre Chase, I could talk about Edge forever. They're backstage and he's talking to Duke and Andre here. And he's talking about how Thea Hale needs to get back on track. And he says that maybe she needs to let out her anger and emotions. So I actually got her a match tonight against Jacy Jayne. And Duke says, oh, you know what? That's a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah, great idea, Andre. Mr. Chase. When Thea comes in and he goes, hey, Thea, I want to talk to you. And I know you're mad at me for throwing in the towel, but you got to get these aggressions out. So I went and got you a match against Jacy Jayne tonight. And Thea goes, "How could you do that? What the?" And she kind of gets upset, and she's like, "What's wrong with you? I don't want that." And Duke, now the other side of the coin, is like, "Yeah, Mr. Chase, what's wrong with you? How could you?" And just completely sides with Thea.
We all know someone who does this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, who just goes with whatever
Whatever's-
way the tide's going.
Thea walks off and goes, "I guess I got to get ready for my match," and walks off. And then Chase is like, "Duke, what the man?" He's the only one who gets the censored F-bomb. His finish.
So, where do you think we're going? Are we eventually having like a vote of no confidence against Andre Chase?
Wow.
And it becomes Duke U?
Duke, you, and then they get sued, and then
Oh yeah, there is Hudson.
Duke.
Yeah.
So Thea's wrestling later, but
He's still mad.
wouldn't you? She's gonna be more mad later.
I'd probably be over it by now.
Yeah, but she's gonna
Yeah, true.
fucking
Just you wait.
Dana Brooke taking on Blair Davenport. Now
Mm.
Dana Brooke's talking to Kalani Jordan, a new up and comer, and about how she's got to have that that mean attitude, that killer instinct. So she's gonna show Blair Davenport that here tonight. Sadly, no Catwoman outfit, but kind of still like it.
No, she's still in black, which means she's bad. She's
Right.
got an attitude.
But no Catwoman.
Remember when
mask.
Candice used to wear black lipstick? Uh-oh.
Purple lipstick
Yeah.
means you're a heel. So this is Dana versus Blair, and Dana is aggressive in the beginning here and kind of gets the best of Blair with all these strikes and sends her to the outside and then a cross body to the outside. Blair hits this like stomp type thing. Dana kicks out, comes back and hits a Batista bomb for a 2.9 count. Wasn't there the internet when they were trying to get Batista and her to date or something like that? That was kind of weird.
There was, I remember when she was in NXT,
Yeah.
and I think it was when she was partnered with Charlotte, was it? I think.
Okay.
And I remember being at a show where she hit the Batista bomb, and there were chants of better than.
Right.
And I think it used to happen at Full Sail as well, better than Batista.
Right.
Which was probably around, no, she was a bit after 20. Yeah. Yeah. So still better than Batista.
It looked good. Batista's
It's
pretty
something
good.
she can do, yeah.
So there's then a huge lariat here. This one actually looked like she took her damn head off, and somehow it wasn't the end of the match. So Blair kicks out. Dana's pissed, so she goes to grab the ring bell, but Kalani stops her and says, "No, come on, you're better than this," which pisses off Dana. She goes back in the ring, and there's a series of roll-ups. Eventually, a V-trigger, and then the Kamigoye. I'm calling them by their real names. And Blair
Well,
wins.
she hasn't called it anything.
Really?
I don't, not that I'm aware.
Gothic charisma?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really not buying this Dana Brooke character. I see what they're trying to do, and they're building to essentially, I assume, a match with Barney Jordan.
Yeah.
But it's not like she's done anything. Okay, she grabbed the ring bell. And I know there are restrictions in WWE about still being, somewhat people, but we need a bit more than just I punched her a few more times in the corner as the ref is counting to 5.
Right.
I want deathmatch Dana.
Yeah. I mean, she had some
wore black. Cool.
She had sticks and stuff, right? Before? Yeah. I don't know. It's not good.
It's not good. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that she's now this psycho that Jordan should I don't know about this girl anymore.
It's clearly leading to them to fight. Because after the match, Kalani kind of puts her hand on her shoulder like, "Oh, I'm sorry you lost." And she gave her a stink eye. Like, you cost me this match.
I do think Blair Davenport's strikes look really good. I think her knees look very snug.
Yeah.
They look decent. So
yeah.
I think Davenport is definitely, she's had a few rehab wins now since the loss to Roxanne, and
right.
I do wonder, I think it kind of maybe just waiting for Tiff to kind of be baby face. But I definitely see her challenging it.
Yeah, because right now she's kind of in limbo. If she just did this mid card kind of, but she's all right. What do we have next? We go to Dijak and Mello now. So Mello still his whole show, He's just signing autographs. See, you want to be champ? You're just going to be spending your nights.
Probably got like marker all down the side of his hand.
Dijak shows up and says, like, you think you're going to be facing Wes? Well, don't forget about me. And Melo kind of like, hey, let me fucking sign my autographs. So Dijak just being overly aggressive, probably said he's going to bring some hard justice to the main event, which isn't going to be the main event.
Melo is so like blasé about both these guys.
Yeah.
He's like, look, the only guy actually going to Heatwave is me right now. So I should be.
We go to the team of Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey, and now Damon Kemp, who's decided to join them. Another addition to the NXT bootleg T-shirts collection is Damon Kemp's Trick is the Champ's Purse Holder shirt.
Actually.
So it says Trick Champ's Purse Holder.
Eggworm.
Yeah, yeah, some purse holder. Yes, kind of similar. In like a Barbie font. So, and then they had a giant purse that they left on the entrance ramp for Trick because he's the purse holder. So yeah, this is Trick taking on Drew Gulak, and it's kind of a setup last week because Trick obviously set up his big match for Dragunov next week, but Drew is like, you want someone who can wrestle, I'll show you, and I'll beat you before you get to him, which set this up. So when Trick comes out, he kicks the purse away and is pretty pissed by this, and then they start to fight. He hits a pretty huge drop kick on Gulak here, which looked pretty good. He's a tall and has really long legs and almost took his head off. Gulak comes back, though, and starts to bend Trick and, like, bends like a single leg crab and then, like, his foot on his head and, like, stretching him here. When Trick gains control, it's Kemp and Dempsey who keep trying to get involved and swiping at him. And when he's dealing with them, it's Briggs and Jensen who show up, our favorites, to save him. And eventually Trick hits the Cyclone boot. It's pretty much Dijak's finisher.
Yeah, I think normally it's like a spin into like a Enziguri kind of kick. I think just the way the angle was here, it looked more like Dijak's Cyclone boot.
Right, yeah. But Trick beats Gulak here and is kind of like, hey, thanks, Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah, I didn't think this really got going as much as I was hoping when they said it was like, because I tend to enjoy Gulak's matches. I like his style, and I think Trick is someone who's really improving every week. I do like his kicks and stuff, but yeah, it was more just setting up to this angle with Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah, I thought it had some cool stuff in it, but nothing that kind of got going. The best part was afterwards, as he's celebrating in the ring, Trick looks at the camera and says, "Mad Dragon, next week I'm gonna be dragging that ass."
Like, I think there's such a high ceiling for Trick, and his wrestling has improved. I think his drop kick, like his kicks in general, look really good just because of the length of his legs, and his pop-up uppercut was pretty nice. But the thing this guy has is just his charisma, his ability to talk, gift the gab, absolutely. Like, I think this guy could go a long, long way.
He's so funny, man. I'm still laughing at stuff he said last week. Never forget booty meat.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's got a real kind of, with reviewing NXT from 2014, and he's got a real, like, Enzo Amore thing about him, you know? Some really interesting lines where you think you must be just jotting down stuff all the time, like ideas you have. His delivery is so good, and hopefully he doesn't rub people up the wrong way like Enzo, because this guy, like, I really see being successful in.
Yeah, for sure. Him and Melo. Purses aside.
Baron
Corbin is walking to the ring, and they're trying to get Mackenzie's trying to get a word in, and he's like, "You know what I'm going to talk about? I'll say it in the ring." We have a video for Dabba-Kato, and he's talking about how he fought his way out of the shadows. But he's going to return soon, coming sooner than later here in NXT.
Cast a big shadow over.
That'd be a big fucking shadow.
Big shadow, yeah.
Baron Corbin is in the ring, burn the ships. He has a microphone. He says, "I can say whatever the hell I want," which definitely reminded me of I think you can say whatever the hell you want. He says, "I say what I mean. I do what I want, and I wreck shit." He says, "I ran that gold Olympic medalist running. I ran him out of here. He got booed and he couldn't handle it. He was here for 2 seconds in the spotlight, and he's already gone. He goes, see, everyone back there in this NXT locker room are soft-ass bitches. He says, but there's no more happy Corbin, sad Corbin. It's burn the ships, a new era. I don't care about this place. I care about the new era of Corbin. It's very CM Punk-like.
Yeah, I find it interesting, the whole Gable Steveson thing. It was booed pretty unanimously at the Bash. And then on the next episode of NXT, they showed a frame of him in the highlight package. And then Corbin went completely into a different feud. He didn't even mention Steveson or anything. And then in this promo, saying he's kind of sent him packing in a very, WWE way, when someone leaves and they just decide not to say their name. I sent that Olympian cat packing. He didn't say I sent Gable Steveson.
Right.
I'm just wondering, are we going to see this guy again? They could be setting up for his big return to take out Corbin in match next week, but I don't know. I'm seeing people on Twitter, Ronda Rousey's gone on her way out. Lacey Evans got released. You've got the merger coming into effect very soon.
Right.
They might be wanting to cut their losses a little, and especially this, Steveson has some, history, which people WWE might not want coming up again and again.
Sure.
So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we're seeing this guy again?
It makes it sound like no one wants. It's been super not saying it.
It breezed past it. I sent him packing. Right, now moving on to the rest of my promo.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's felt last week as well. I find it quite interesting to see if
Gable Steveson is not the person who comes out, but it's someone who could probably beat him for that Olympic gold medal, in my opinion. Von Wagner, get your tables ready. Vaughn comes out with Robert Stone, and Stone has a mic and says, hey, we're listening to you, Corbin, and it sounds like you're just dissing everyone in the back there. And Corbin cuts him off and says, who are you? You're just a knockoff Happy Corbin. And he goes, oh, Happy Corbin, good one. You're so funny. You're so great. Insulting people because you want to make yourself feel good. Then him and Corbin are going back and forth, and Corbin then says, hey, Vaughn, can you talk? I can't remember because this guy's doing all the talking. Why am I talking to this guy? He says, can you talk? And he gives him the mic, and Vaughn's just holding it, and he goes, oh, no, I already made a mistake. Take it away. Don't talk, says Corbin. And Vaughn eventually wants to talk, but it's Baron who interrupts him again and says, you got to learn to last in this business. You got to learn how to talk on the stick like I did with The Rock, or else you'll just be someone they call with a big security across your chest. And this is when Vaughn finally steps up and says, well, I don't talk a lot, but maybe you talk too damn much. Soon to be on Botchamania.
100%.
He says it's the same old story, whether it's Happy Corbin, Sad Corbin, Bum-ass Corbin, Burn a Ship Down Corbin. I can't remember all the other gimmicks you had because they all sucked. He says, but how about you and me next week? I got a reservation for one, a table for one, and your bald-headed ass is gonna get tabled.
Wow. There is something fascinating about Von Wagner, isn't there? His delivery has got better, for sure, but there's still something absolutely hilarious about when he speaks. And this has been right back from, come Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
Why are you wearing sunglasses inside? We're inside.
He has these really funny lines, and because his delivery is unique, it just, I don't know, it works, and it makes me really like this guy. And I do think Corbin is a very competent talker. I think he is pretty natural when he's talking, but I thought Von just cut him down so brilliantly here.
I love Von coming back. The crowd didn't know how to handle this segment.
If you were to say a few months ago, getting Von Wagner versus Baron Corbin, you'd be like, oh God.
Right.
I'm kind of for it. This whole reservation for one, I want to see Baron get tabled.
He wasn't wearing his tabled shirt.
He wasn't. I did like kind of Corbin bring up him, he was on SmackDown for a bit as security and that kind of thing. Like, but yeah, I thought this was a pretty fun segment actually.
Yeah, I'm genuinely in Vaughn's corner because I agree. Like, there's something that makes me laugh, but I also think like he's good, and I loved him dissing Corbin here. It was really funny, and Corbin does like come off pretty natural.
And like this whole we've seen like Robert Stone's been in NXT quite a while now, 3 years maybe more. And like how many people he went through that just didn't work. He had like Frankie Monet, he had Aaliyah, Vanessa Bourne at one point maybe. He had Mercedes Martinez, like all these people, and it just nothing ever clicked or worked. And on Wagner, it seems such a strange pairing, but it's absolutely worked. And I hope if and when they do move these on up, I hope he goes with Mr. Stone, because I think as an act it works.
Your ass is gonna get tabled. The only problem is not a tables match next. That would have made it a little.
Well, because Corbin's gonna win. Von doesn't care about.
Yeah, he doesn't care about winning. He just wants to table,
which is fine.
I'm hyped. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I just loved him ripping Corbin. It was great. We cut to Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio backstage, and they're having a lovey dovey moment. He's like resting his head on her shoulders, smiling.
I thought this was a pre-tape this week, right?
For sure. He says, you could see the jealousy through Dragon Lee last week through his mask. He's just jealous of us. And Lyra should have just been happy with my endorsement. Instead, she boot me in the face. And, well, now they've gotten in my business and they are annoying me. So we'll lay a challenge out. We'll drop in at Heatwave next week. And we want to challenge both of them. Mixed tag challenge that is asked of Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria for next week. Except.
All right. Yeah, down for that.
That sounds pretty good. Dirty Dom gonna pop a big rating again?
Probably. Like, yeah, these two are pretty heavily featured on NXT now.
Yeah,
they have been for the last month or so.
I mean, not right now, but it's setting up for the match next.
I mean, they're on every. I know this wasn't in front of the crowd, but they're on TV every week.
Yeah. We go to a video for Mustafa Ali. This is pretty much him. Like a presidential speech, the way it's edited and shot with like a fake crowd shot. And good evening, fellow Americans. He says, I'm here to talk about the prestigious title, the North American title, and these individuals that have taken this title, that have turned it into something that it's not, that this once great continent was. Former champs and current champs just don't hold up. Look at our champion now. The criminal, as it shows like Dom in prison from the main roster. He says, we need a champion on inside and outside the ring. I can be your champion. I can inspire. So open your ears and raise your heads. Ali kind of shows like his new, like his logo, but now it's got that North American title like thing in it.
And it said the graphic at the end, approved by North American candidate Mustafa Ali. So yeah, done like a whole like presidential campaign, but he's campaigning to be. It's a little weird because he's definitely leading in the heel side,
right?
So to be challenging Dom, who's a bigger heel right now, feels weird. Like, I feel like Ali should be more of a babyface, but which makes me still think someone else is gonna get involved in this as well, like Dragon Lee,
Mysterio,
right? Yeah, I thought his delivery was good. I think back to those promos he made himself a few years ago, where he was just Argo and about being a cop and all that. That's the Ali I relate to. They've never really capitalized that on TV.
Yeah,
and they've had whole retribution thing. They've had him just be like a whiner a lot of the time.
Seems always
and
whiny,
even here it's like, okay, so you're now gonna be playing like a politician kind of gimmick, it feels. And I don't know, I think there's such an opportunity for the guy as just a big baby face.
Yeah, I agree. He could just be a way over the top character that works way better than this. I actually didn't mind this.
No, I didn't mind it. I just still think it's like wrong casting.
Yeah, this was like a cross between like I know well he's Chicago, right? So like Obama meets Homelander from The Boys kind of thing, and it was cool, but you're right. Dom is the bad guy right now. Why would you be chasing for it? I would like to see him become. Well, we go to our next match, which is the #1 contenders match. The winner of this next match is heading to Heatwave next week. Dijak taking on Wes Lee. The last time these two fought was pretty awesome. And Dijak got his finger dislocated, as Vic and Booker are talking about here tonight. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Wes hits this Rana early on, and Dijak actually looks like he hurts his leg. But I'm not quite sure if this was part of the thing, because Wes then attacked it.
Yeah, it was a whole part of the
yeah. So Wes keeps going after the big man and trying to like keep him staggered and down to the mat because he's so giant and bigger than him. Eventually, Wes hits his like rolling Liger kick. There's a tope that gets caught and gets slammed as they go to commercial break. When we come back, it's Wes now fighting back to Dijak and hitting this DDT counter. A pretty cool looking, like almost like a power bomb counter from Wes, especially on the bigger guy for a near fall. Wes is starting to sell his shoulder here, and eventually it's Dijak who gets him up for the feast your eyes, but then his knee gives out, so he can't quite hit that. And then there's like a one-legged hard justice south of heaven, the sit-out choke bomb, but Wes kicks out of that. That looked pretty good. He almost got even higher hopping on one leg.
Yeah.
Somehow Wes then they're on the outside and he gets thrown into the steps by Dijak, and Eddie Thorpe shows up and just kind of stares him down, which allows sort of a distraction. Wes hits the super kick to Dijak and then hits the spiral tap,
the cardiac kick,
the cardiac kick, and then the spiral tap to take and keep Dijak down and become the #1.
Yeah, good match. I don't think this was anywhere close to their one at.
No.
Was it Vengeance Day or whatever it was earlier in the year? Which was definitely, I think, an NXT highlight of that match. Excellent. I almost thought the kind of limb targeting was a bit too overdone and actually took away from the match at times. Like the knee and shoulder injury happened very early in the match, and I just felt there was a bit too much of the selling that, which disrupted the flow a little bit. And then, the Eddie Thorpe distraction was a bit like lazy as well. I don't particularly like the baby faces distracting the heel.
I agree.
It's a bit petty, and especially Eddie lost that match, so it just makes him seem a bit bitter. But obviously that's the direction we're going. Dijak, Eddie Thorpe, and now we know Wes Lee. The crowd got into it. I didn't think this was a bad match. I just was hoping for something closer to their first one.
Yeah, their first one was a lot better. This one, I get why they kept it not for the main slot, because they do have like an angle that they cut to, so it makes sense. But still, some cool action, and I like the more serious Wes Lee. But again, he had Eddie Thorpe helping to win. It's a little backwards. But we're getting Thorpe and Dijak again. I'm sure it'll be good. Maybe even better than last. We go to Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. They are watching the show, and they say that we have that challenge from Dom and Rhea, and we wanna shut up Dom because he has that stupid face. It's just so punchable. And they're like, you know what? It is a stupid face. The Dragon Lee and Lyra are talking here, and Lyra says, I think we should team up and take them on. And Dragon says, oh, no, sorry, I'm taken. And Lyra says, no, I mean like as a tag team on the same page. And he says, oh, okay. And sure, so the match is official. Great.
So I think they agreed to go out and they're awful, but they do work together really well. So we need to try and get to know them a bit better. This was kind of cute, trying to seeing these two try and act. Not really much chemistry there.
Yeah, it was a little weird, to be honest.
It is a little bit of a random pairing.
I don't know if that joke was needed, to be honest.
No, it was just, it felt like, watching two teenagers given a script to no real chemistry between them, and not really much comic timing from either. I don't think comedy is either Lyra Valkyria or Dragon Lee's forte, but
the match will be good.
I think the match will be good. I really like these two in ring, and Rhea and Dom are just so hot right now that they're having really entertaining stuff. So I think it will be fun, but yeah, maybe a bit less of this.
Rhea and Buddy got engaged, right?
Oh, congratulations.
Not Dom? How does this come into play?
I don't know. They did both speak in their languages. That was the other bad comedy. Lyra spoke Gaelic, like Irish.
Right.
And said something taco, and he's like, oh, I like tacos.
Oh. Irish tacos?
She's like, no, I was saying
Irish
this.
nachos
like,
are lit.
Tacos? Irish nachos.
Like waffle fries or something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tyler Bates being interviewed. He doesn't look like he eats. He is talking about Gallus and the cup, the Heritage Cup. But then it shows an NXT Anonymous video where Tyler Bate was talking to NXT fans earlier today when Gallus interrupted that and basically just started taunting him, talking shit to him.
In their football shirt.
In their
it's
jerseys.
Like they're on the lads' holiday.
Yeah.
You know,
all of them watching it wearing the
They're
same.
not wearing like Glasgow Rangers
Oh my
shirts.
God.
They're just our own Gallus.
Yeah, our own shirt.
Like Big Joe.
So he's asked about this, like, hey, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I don't know what their deal is. But I'm going to have this match with Joe Coffey here today. They have some history going back from NXT UK, and I think even before that they will mention later on. Yeah. The match comes later. He didn't. The Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov, has a vignette here talking to Trick. He says, in fact, he is the Mad Dragon. Trick, I notice your confidence. I notice your admiral courage, but I am going to bring the raging fire. I have to say it like it. It's not. It doesn't sound as.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Next week, I will be more dangerous than you can imagine. So I'd be shitting in my pants if I was Trick.
I think this is one of the best built matches for Heatwave.
Better than any match on All In.
Really, honestly, yeah. Like they built this Heatwave show up better than this 80,000 stadium seat show, and I think that is something NXT's been pretty good at in the last few months. Is actually last year, I'd say. Like they know where they're going, and they tell their stories. They pace them out pretty well. They peak at the right times, and I like how this feud has kind of bled from the like mellow Dragunov into this, right. And I really hope Trick kind of steps up and kind of gets something out of this. We know Dragunov.
Yeah, Trick's gonna get beat up. We get a hype from Vic Joseph talking about how tickets will be on sale, or they are now, for No Mercy on September 30th, and does a little Diggity Dog callback to the No Mercy video game, if you caught that or not. Tyler Bate versus Joe Coffey happening now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
what,
you know
the opening song?
Diggity Dog. Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, one-on-one here. It's Joe who's putting the boots to Tyler early on as Booker, and well, it's mostly Vic talking about the history of these two, and they know and they fight, and it's Joe who's like roughing Tyler up. There's a series of uppercuts, huge backbreaker out of the corner, and more uppercuts. Tyler comes back. He's no slouch, though. You might be smaller, but his uppercuts are pretty fire, and he's striking away, and then eventually hits his standing star press for a near fall. His airplane spin as he can't quite capitalize. He then gets caught by Joe with this deadlift German suplex, and then he goes for his rebound lariat when Dabba-Kato shows up and attacks Tyler Bate.
Said he'd be here soon.
And then it tries to attack Joe, but Gallus are like, nope, and pull him right out. So Tyler goes back in the ring I don't know why he went back in the ring. That was that was his first mistake. Tyler Bate already got beat up by this guy and then went, I'm mad at this man, so I'm going to get, and then he looked up at him like, oh. And Dabo hits the sit out tree bomb on Bate, just crushing him here. So I guess Tyler Bate wins by DQ, but
was it double? I think it was just like a no contest.
I mean,
DQ.
Joe didn't get hit, but
more like Joe decaf, am I right?
Right.
Yeah. The match didn't really get much chance to get going. Like both these two know each other really well, but yeah, it was more the angle to set up Dabba-Kato. So I assume we're getting Dabba-Kato, Tyler Bate down the line.
Kind of weird.
Does seem a matchup, but I don't know. Like Dabba-Kato, I think kind of impressed me in his last couple of matches before he went away, like definitely improved since
I agree.
his Babatunde run, and General Aziz.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of, when they announced this match, I was like, oh, this could be pretty good. I like a good Tyler Bates singles, but
didn't get to
didn't
like the
get
next
there.
level. Yeah. So what do you do with Gallus? I'd say you have Tyler Bate join the Brawling Brutes, and Gallus join Drew, and then you have all the different.
I can't see Tyler Bate as he doesn't strike me as a brawling brute.
Then
Really,
you got Gallus and Drew.
Gallus and Drew. I mean, I think Drew's got to turn heel soon, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And like him bring these guys in,
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tyler can join to be the fourth guy in the British. It's like footy. It's like different teams. Got we need more Italians, and we already know that with the NXT guys. But
Well, like Gallus are British. Well,
Gallus, they're British. Oh, I thought they were Scottish.
Scotland is.
I mean, like no, but I mean, like you
And
got like,
Sheamus in the
yeah,
Brutes
it
is
does.
Irish,
Yeah.
and
Sheamus
he's not British.
Yeah. Sheamus is their leader. Yeah, true. So all right, it doesn't really matter. But put all this.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. You got to get this in your head before you go to London, all right? But don't. Sorry, Magan. Magan's correcting me. Sorry, Magan. No, Scotland is in the British Isles. Thank you very much. But Scottish people are offended when they're called British, but they are technically British as well. So, Magan, please don't correct me.
Magan's British, actually.
Is he?
No, he's Scottish. Baron Corbin's walking out and says, "I'll be watching it." Heatwave. And sorry, no, Corbin leaves and he's got his match with Vaughn when Braun Breaker shows up and goes, "Yo, what the hell, dude? I'm not done with Von Wagner, and now you have a match with him." And Corbin says, "Yeah, well, I'm not done. Like, I have my match with him. It's too bad," kind of thing. Yeah. Braun says, "Well, I'll be watching." So I think Braun shows up, probably pissed at Vaughn for putting him through a table.
Yeah, but it felt like we're kind of setting up Braun and Baron Corbin, which again, it's a heel dynamic. You're really trying to get Braun over as like the main heel on NXT, it feels.
Yeah.
So and Corbin is just so unlikable. Well, that seems a weird match to get. I do think we'll probably get Von Corbin again. But yeah, just I am liking Braun standing up to Corbin here, and it just a bit of a weird, like, that match just.
Yeah. We go to the hard-hitting home truths.
Yeah.
Nathan Frazier, and he says hello and welcome to this show. It's the John Oliver show, essentially. He's talking about Florida, and it's freaking hot, and it's a sizzling heat wave next week here on NXT when he's interrupted as he's talking about Noam Dar and the fake cup. When the Metaphor interrupt his talk show,
They hack in, yeah.
with their own talk show live from the moon, and he says that
All looking fantastic. I really liked Aura Mensa's.
I love all the metaphors
they look
and their
very good.
entrances and stuff is always nice. He's talking about how he's the longest reigning and the most reigns of that cup, and he's the most handsome cup winner as well. And when he wins this cup back next week, the conspiracy theories will end. And Nathan Fraser's like, "Mate, what are you talking about? You're the conspiracy, like, you're crazy. You're the one who's not the actual winner. I won it, and you're wrong." And he says, "Roll the tape from last week," when Noam does kind of say, like, it's a fake cup. Use the words. Then it's Nathan who pulls out the fraud button.
Yeah.
It's
The bullshit detector, right?
Yeah, so he then, everything Noam says, he keeps pushing it, and it goes, fraud. And he says, "I don't tell lies." Fraud. You say you live on the moon. Is that true? Yeah, live from the moon. Fraud. You enjoy, all these, like, just running him down and then saying, like, yeah.
It's then like, no, I'm like, I'll see you at Heath Wave and I'll rip you apart. I'm going to beat you and take that title
cup.
back. Like, fraud.
Fraud. So, yeah, Noam says, "Check, please." And then they disconnect as Nathan says, "I'll love you and leave you. Take care." Next week, the cup is on the line.
Yeah. Where do you see it going?
I would give it back to no.
I kind of want it back on Dar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think didn't Fraser promise he owes Tyler Bate match?
Tyler Bate's busy with Dabba. Dabba's gonna beat Tyler Bate and say, "Now you owe me the match."
Dabba Kato should go for the Heritage Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rounds,
It'll be easy enough for him to carry it around.
rounds matches.
Just look like a normal trophy.
Every match, every round, just hit that tree bomb.
Yeah.
Win every fucking match.
I think that would be hilarious, having Dabba Kato at Heritage Cup
exactly
champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see Fraser winning it. Like, Bate down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think Fraser's got the delivery good on these things, but I just something I
Yeah, I agree. I guess that's just WWE with baby faces.
Yeah.
Because like that's what happens to all the characters that come through this ringer is like he's like forced comedy. Like his Spider-Man thing really annoyed me last week. But like every week he kind of annoys me. But I think he's an amazing wrestler. I think there is something there. But he's young. They're still finding it. But it's kind of weird that this is the route they went for someone who's kind of serious.
I'm loving Metaphor though.
Yeah,
I love all the little like asides they have going on. Like even when sort of Noam's talking, just watching like Flash and Jakara or whatever. Like they're pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I like the ongoing thing of I didn't lose. It was Mensa. And Mensa's like, hey, it's like, oh no, you did, buddy. And it's like, oh man, okay. Like I think they've all got really good comedic timing.
I think they're hitting it. Yeah, sure. We have a super chat from Brandon from New Jersey.
Ooh.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Haha, just wanted to say hi. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank
from New
you.
Jersey. We love you
Thank
very
you.
much. Hope you're doing laundry. I did laundry today in honor of you, Brandon.
Yeah, the laundry man.
Laundry man, Brandon. Also, Megan disagrees with you about the
Megan's
Scotland.
disagreeing about. Okay. All right.
We go to Jacy, Jayne, and Thea, Hale.
How do I put people on timeout here?
Jacy, Jayne, and Thea Hale one-on-one. The match Thea didn't really want here. Thea runs at Jacy with a head scissors here and gains control as they go to break pretty early. When we come back, it's Jacy now putting the boots to her, hitting like this elbow drop and then like a twisting neck breaker type thing. Thea comes back with this like shoulder spinning shoulder breaker to the mat, which looked pretty cool. Then running forearms and then an exploder out of the corner. But then Jacy kicks out and hits back with a super kick to Thea and then a huge spine buster. But Thea kicks out at 2. This is when Andre Chase gets up on the apron and goes, "Come on, Thea, you got to get in this here." And
No. It was Jacy had removed the turnbuckle pad.
Oh,
and
right.
She was trying to send Thea into the corner, so he got up to put it back.
Right. And the ref is like,
But
"Yo, what are
he
you
didn't
doing?"
realize and was like, "What the fuck you doing?"
Right.
Chase.
So when the ref is like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's Jacy who rolls up Thea and pins her, and Thea is even more upset because, like you said, did not realize what was going on and thinks just Chase was in the way. And Thea is furious and storms off, walks out, and Duke follows her. He's like, "Oh man, now she's mad at me again."
Gotta feel Chase here.
Yeah.
But like Thea keeps losing. Kind of his fault.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of improvement in Thea Hale recently. I think she's coming across a lot smoother in ring. Still so young, and I think she's got the character down. I'm enjoying her like storming to the ring and throwing the megaphone
Scrappy
down.
Doo.
Yeah, but now just angry Scrappy Doo.
Yeah.
And I think Jacy, since the split of Toxic Attraction, I think she's kind of pulled ahead of Gigi. I think she's better in ring, and I think she knows who she is and what her character is a bit more. She's not really in much of a featured story right now, but I do think she's the one from Toxic Attraction who's kind of made a step forward.
Yeah, I thought she looked good in this match.
Yeah.
Some of her moves are pretty good. Yeah. I love Thea too, though. I definitely see more from her down the line. We go to our Lucha Libre family history lesson sort of thing here. This is pretty cool, actually. Last week, we were definitely dissing on the...
What are you talking about?
What was it? The texting?
The texting. Yeah,
Which
it's
is
so
pretty
funny.
Which is pretty weird. This was way better. You should just maybe show this last week. This has a voice of what they say is Grandpa Garza here. I don't know if he's still alive, if this is AI, if this is just someone else's voice. I'm assuming he's alive, but they made it sound like last week that he was no longer alive. So I am a little confused. Unless it's like Uncle Ben, they had him record his like famous.
I think it's something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I was like, well, if it's supposed to be the guy, then okay. Remember what I always told you, grandsons, top of the world. You want to be there, you have to be there for each other. And if you lose, your cousin loses. And the time has come. No more games, no more distractions. A new beginning together. And it's showing like great footage at home movies of these two as kids, like trampoline wrestling in like arenas in Mexico with their family and their grandpa, I suppose, here. Like, honestly, really cool footage that they have dug out here for Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Yeah.
And the whole like Garza family legacy here, which is just, I really like this. It then cut to them like waking up both in their own houses looking at the photo. It's like
the day after, the morning after they were texting each other, isn't it?
So they took this whole thing and went back to that like thing, but they have a connection, family connection,
which was cheesy, but I loved all this footage of them as kids and everything. And and I think these guys are gonna be baby faces moving forwards and like more serious and like honoring their heritage. Like, both are fantastic wrestlers, and I'd love to see them have a tag title run here.
Absolutely.
This is way better than when they re-debuted in NXT and they were, just on the perch and beating people up. And it's like, no, this is the right direction. I mean, look, how often do they, go into like the Guerreros and their back history? There's so many like big like wrestling families out there, and I think tapping into this with the Garzas is great.
Shout out Hector Garza.
Did you realize they're both called Humberto Garza?
Really?
Yeah. Angel Garza is Humberto Garza Solano and Humberto Garza Carrillo.
I like the history of this here, and I know we clowned the texting thing, which was not that great, and now I think going in a more serious direction.
Yeah, get a bit of a new.
I would be
look,
really into this.
Maybe some sort of gear that pays homage to their grandfather and stuff like that.
I could really get into it. I really enjoyed just the clips of that stuff. So instantly climbing up the ladder of the interesting kind of stories of the teams and characters here, because they are fantastic. Would say watch out for these guys, because I think they got something left in the tank here in NXT. As far as rehabbing some other characters, I think these two will work for sure. We see Carmelo, this poor guy. He's been signing autographs all night.
Like, his hand just must be throbbing.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours. And he's being nice to people. When Wes comes up and he's got the contract in his hand and he goes, sign it. Melo says, that's okay, dog. I'll just see you next Tuesday. And Wes says, nah, we're not waiting. And he like starts throwing away all the headshots of Melo and the autographs, trashes his table here, and then grabs one of the tables and drags it past Gorilla out to the ring as they go to commercial break, and says, I'll see you in the ring. You're going to sign this.
He's dragging this table around the PC.
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty good to set up a contract signing. Normally we have it like, next week contract signing. Like, no, we're doing this now. I've won the match. Let's make this as I said earlier, I've been enjoying attitude.
Well, during the break, we have a little video for Tiffany Stratton. I don't think she's defending the title next week, but she will be there and will be, maybe she's got something to say. It get heat wave, but the champ will be. If we come back, Wes was just waiting now in the ring. He set up this table with the contract. And Melo comes out, makes his entrance. He's got his NXT title. And he goes, look, man, you're going to turn me back to the old me. I love Melo is a fantastic talker, but something he does, obviously you'll catch the one later. He takes a lot of famous song lyrics and puts them into things. And you're going to turn me back to the old me is another one. But he goes, watch it here. And he goes, like, I'm the champion now. I'm not the same person. You can't be treating me like this. Like, what's going on? Because Wes is kind of acting a bit sporadic and aggressive. Wes says you're like the jet setting, vacation, champagne drinking, like, you know, we have different lives, and Melo says stop there, like, I'm the champ here, and you haven't walked a day in my studded loafers, I think he said that he was wearing, as the crowd booed that line. Clearly, people in Florida not a fan of studded loafers. They booed him. I don't understand what the problem with studded loafers was, but I personally not a no socks with them personally.
So like what, studs on top?
I guess on the outside.
Okay.
I didn't really get a look at them. Had a hard time holding those alligators down. He says you took a couple L's and then you bounced back, and like that's great. And this is when Wes mentions his time in the military, and everyone thought I was crazy when I told them that I also wanted to be here. I mean, he never really said let people word wrestler. They said I can't. Says, well, then I had a hell of a ride when I finally made it to WWE and I set up shop. I lost my partner. When I tried to go single, they said, you can't. And look what I did. And they said, you will never become North American champion. You can't. But Wes did. And, well, who did I take that title off of? And Melo says, no, we don't need to go there, because it was him, right?
Well, he won it in a multi-match, right? I think. Didn't he win ladder match?
Right. Okay.
I don't think Melo was pinned.
He says he kind of says that, like, hey, you never beat
you didn't
me.
Beat me.
You didn't beat me.
It. Yeah.
He says you had a hell of a run at the champ, but you didn't beat me. And like, I'm sorry, people saying you can't, but you can't beat me, as Melo says that. And Wes says, well, I won't fail anymore, and my opportunity is next week. Melo says, like, I'm a league above you. I'm not the same Melo from before. I'm the NXT champ Melo. So don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to, kid. Because next week I'll show you that Melo don't miss. And then he laughs and goes, nah. Melo can't miss. As this pisses off Wes. He doesn't hit him, but instead he's so angry he double stomps the table.
Yeah.
Steps
this
right.
Is a new one, isn't it?
Steps right in front of Melo and says, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, this was kind of like, you know, when Ricochet does the flip over the top rope to kind of square up. This was like Wes's version.
Yeah,
like
I'm just gonna break this
high leap stomp through the table.
Yeah.
I thought this was really good. I think this heated up this match in a real short space of time. It being Heatwave and TV, I don't necessarily see a title change, but this made me buy it more than I would have a week or so ago.
Yeah.
I like tying in the whole history they had with the North American Championship, because, you know, that was Melo's whole thing. That I've made this the A Championship. I am the A champion. And now Wes kind of having the longest reign or the most title defenses of this reign ever, making it mean something as well. I think that ties them both together pretty nicely for this NXT. I thought both, like, Melo's great on the mic and just feels like such a cool, calm champion here, but they're giving you reasons to root for both, which I like, and I think the match is fantastic.
Yeah, I love the new direction of Wes. Like, I obviously I love the Rascals and the weed smoking guys and stuff, but when they got to WWE, they couldn't really do that, and I found that their character comedy is the same thing. Like I said, baby faces and wrestling is hard because they make them so like lame. When finally you give him a little bit of an edge here and freedom, he comes across as a wait. Like, who knew Wes could cut a promo like this? He's always trying to joke and make people like it's not. It doesn't feel real. Where he talked like this, I felt like this was him talking. So I thought he actually like really stepped up when it comes to promos. And
absolutely.
And what he was saying is like, hey, people don't really believe in me. Like, after watching this, I could see this guy as a key player because I already think he's a great wrestler. But after this, I'm like, oh shit, actually, you're a pretty good talker.
Like they've got to, and we've seen when they've moved away from the CWC and they've been in when they're in Texas and stuff like that. Wes gets big reaction. So I think he's someone that they could have a real big star.
You could have a real
on the main roster one day, you know?
Yeah.
Just looking into it, it was Carmelo Hayes dropped the title to Solo Sikoa, then vacated it, and then it was the ladder match, which Wes won.
Right.
So yeah, he didn't beat Wes.
Right.
He didn't beat Melo for the title.
Solo couldn't have it because he's on the main roster.
And he is the longest reigning champion.
Right, yeah.
At 200. Dom's gonna be.
That's fine. I love this promo, and it definitely made a match story have way more story for it next week. And I know these guys will absolutely kill it. I do think Melo retains as well, but I don't think Wes. I mean, maybe they let Dom take it from him because he'll win. But I mean,
we could maybe. I don't know, like No Mercy 6 weeks away, something like that. It's quite a long time to keep going.
But yeah, I loved the promo from Melo as well. The Dre reference, the TLC reference. I'm ready for that match next week. I'm definitely gonna be. I know we're off, but we're gonna have to be checking this match out because this one will deliver for sure. NXT is like, you know what? This week was definitely a setup show for next week.
There was no match, I'd say. You've got to go out your way to watch this, but I think they did a nice job of setting up Heatwave.
Yeah.
We've got all the matches in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's the NXT Championship match, like we just said, Melo and Wes Lee. Then we got the mixed tag match with Dragon Lee and Lyra versus Dirty Dom and Rhea. Then we got
Trick and
Dragunov, yeah.
Which would be pretty big. You've got the Von versus Baron Corbin.
And then we got the cup.
The cup, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty stacked.
That's pretty good.
It's a pretty stacked episode. I think
should be a big episode.
I think we'll get some great wrestling out of next week's episode. Out of predictions there, I say Melo retains. I don't know if there's any.
Okay, yeah. So Melo retains. I think Fraser probably wins. Retains the Heritage Cup. Ilya beating Trick. Corbin beating Von, but it doesn't matter because Corbin going through tables.
Table for one,
reservation
baby.
For one.
Burn the tables.
And I see Dragon Lee maybe getting the pin on Dom to set up a championship.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
That's
nice.
But yeah,
I still enjoyed this episode of NXT because it did get me hyped for some matches for next week. So I thought they did a good job in that, but no real wrestling that hit it home. But I think we'll get that next week. But
well, that's what we thought. Let's go to the Poisonrana Facebook page to see what you guys thought. Just search Poisonrana on Facebook. It will take the page, and then through that you can leave feedback. Start with the champ. Fire Frank says, time stood still as Von and Baron stood face to face. Sadly, though, nobody got tabled. Wes Dijak had another good one. Opening tag was fun as well. Ali had a nice midterm election video. Heatwave is looking good. To the BDE, safe travels and have a blast on your European World Tour. Say hi to Cactus.
Thank you, Frank. Will do. And we go to Megan, who writes in, Wes and Dijak bodied it again despite the parameters of TV holding it back. They told a good story with each man targeting a limb. The rest of the episode did a fine job of setting the table for Heatwave. Mustafa's United States of Ali segment was top notch. It's great that something he picked a long ago was brought to life here. Oh, so this was something he must have talked about before. Another example of the old geezer failed to take advantage of. Yeah, but I'd still say it's like not fitting in right now to what's going on. But I still. Megan continues, I figured Melo v. Wes was going to be for Bakersfield, but I can't complain about it coming early. It should be a hell of a match. Wes' real-life struggles getting weaved into the character was well done. Yes, absolutely agree on that. I think that they're finally taking him a bit serious, and I definitely have too. So thank you, Frank, Megan, for writing in, and thank you to you people listening to us here today. Fine folks. That was next. That was up next. We won't be back next week, but B and Siino will be back for the next few weeks covering NXT on Wednesday mornings with Up Next. We do have some shows in the can for our Patreon, so our all-in review coming soon. Some Was Next, No Time to Die, and everything in that back catalog. It's only $5. Go support us and get yourself some podcasts for those plane rides, bike rides, walk in the parks, podcast for all times of the day. Who wouldn't want to listen to us talk about Wembley 1992 while you're like,
Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys for listening to us. I think we will be doing a show eventually when we see All In. When we finish it somehow, some way, we might go and record something.
Yeah, if it's a nice day, we could do a bit of a backyard All-In review, like the old days.
Yeah, but we're going on vacation.
Yeah.
Going on vacation. It starts right now, kind of, tomorrow.
Yeah, we still got to record a show.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting. Of course, postwrestling.com for everything going on in the world of Punk Watch. Follow John away, as I'm sure they'll have a lot to talk about on Rewind to Dynamite this week on the road to Wembley. But I myself, Braden Herrington, you can find me Twitter, Instagram at @TheBrady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And we'll see you at All In.
See you guys. Ahoy!
Poisonrana.